welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. We are really excited today to be talking with another one of the Hallmark actresses. Today, we are talking with Caitlin Stryker. Today, she is going to be in the new upcoming movie, Sealed with a Kiss, Wedding March 6th. So fun. Caitlin, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Hi, Rachel. Thanks for having me.
Yes. We love getting to talk with the actresses and actors that are in our movies every week. It's so much fun, and you've been in a bunch, so I'm really excited to hear your experience. And what we like to do is we like to start off by asking what inspired you to get into acting.
Ooh, okay.
I know, big one.
Big one. It goes way back. You know what? It's funny. My son starts kindergarten not next week, the week after. And I was thinking about it, kind of getting him ready and being like, how to introduce yourself. And, because I was naturally quite shy as a kid, and we moved around a lot because my dad worked for the railway. So it was similar to being like an army brat kind of thing. Anyways, so we moved a lot, and I was always in a new school. And it was around grade 4. We were living in Montreal in Quebec in Canada. And I was going to this really fantastic school. They had such a great arts program and public speaking and all these things. And I kind of realized, I was like, I gotta do something to help me get better and more comfortable with people. And I just kind of self-realized that. And so that's when I started trying out for the school play. I think I tried out to be a dancing flower because I was really into dancing in the Secret Garden. And I was a dancing flower in the Secret Garden in the grade 4, school musical, and totally hooked after that. I was like, oh my gosh, I wish that I had gone out for a part that spoke. This is so much fun. And that's how I got into acting. So as a kid, it was just, just this total theater nerd all the way through high school. And then, and even for college, I'm an English lit major, but yeah, so I got into it professionally in my 20s.
So what show, I always have to ask, what shows were you in high school?
Like what shows?
Yeah.
I was nerd. My peak moment, I was Antigone in Antigone.
Ooh.
Which also brave high school theater director, because that's some pretty heavy stuff for teachers.
I was just saying, we did Bye Bye Birdie, but
right,
there you go. I mean, way to go.
I know, but then at the same time, as I say that, I'm like, the teenagers are so moody and melodramatic that you lean into that side.
Yeah.
So that's like the high school one that stands out the most for me.
We also did Up the Down Staircase, which I don't know if you've heard of, but it was a pretty bold choice because it's all about rebellious teens and this new high school teacher, and and it was our brand new drama teacher. She came in, and that's the first play she did was Up the Down Staircase.
Oh gosh. Oh, okay. Yeah. So okay, I have to look that one up. And then and then I was just thinking the play where I was like, this is so boring. And I maybe will offend people because I know it's beloved and everyone does it. But we did Our Town.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. I
didn't like it.
No, I did not.
I really like that one, but hey, it's all good.
Everyone loves it. It's done. Every single high school does that play. Every summer theater group does that play. But I just was like, I am just not into this material.
Yeah. You were like, Snoozeville, this is not working for me.
Totally.
That's funny. Yes. Well, we won't cast you in the when the Hallmark does their version of Our Town someday.
Nope. No thanks. I'll watch maybe.
So on your IMDb, it said that you got started dancing. That was your first. Is that right?
Yeah. I danced with the Royal Winnipeg Ballet we lived in Winnipeg for a bit when I was growing up. And I danced there for a couple of years.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Uh,
their young professionals program. Yeah.
mhm. That's cool. I, is that something that have you been able to go back to the theater at all since quarantine, or hopefully you'll be able to get to go back soon?
Hopefully soon. No, I haven't been.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been able to go see any live shows. I'm aching to. I love going to theater.
Mhm.
My husband is filming in New York right now, and he's hoping that he might be able to catch something when he's there, because I think
Mhm.
things are starting to open up.
Yeah.
Um, but I miss it so
Mhm.
much. Do you?
Mm.
Have you seen
No,
anything?
I've been very lucky here in Utah. Things have been opening,
Nice.
and I've been able to see. I devoted made it a goal this summer to support local theater as much as possible. So
Yes.
I've been able to see quite a bit. But yeah, I love live theater and dance. It's in music. It's there's just nothing like it.
No, there isn't. Like I'm gonna fill my fall with shows,
Mhm.
because yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like this fall is when everything is kind of really gonna be
Yeah.
available. Yeah.
It also says that you split your time between New York City, LA, and Vancouver. And so where did you end up sheltering in place
So
when you had to quarantine?
we sheltered in place in Vancouver.
Mhm.
So we were in LA when it started, like, when it all, not when it started, but when it all became real.
Mhm.
Um, which is like mid-March for
Uh-huh.
most of us. Um,
Right.
yeah, and then we left LA, we went to Vancouver, and we were in Vancouver for the whole time, and now we're back in LA, and my
What
husband's currently filming something in New York. So
so what was that like for you? Used to kind of jumping all over the place. All of a sudden you're in quarantine for basically a year. Uh
it was weird. It
yeah.
was actually weird. Um, and winter was really tough. I mean, especially in Vancouver, right? Because as beautiful and wonderful as the city is, and we do try, like, we go skiing, and I had our little guy in ski school on Thursdays and stuff, so that we were getting up the mountain and everything. But
Mhm.
the gray, like the nonstop gray,
Yeah.
in the wintertime, I found that really challenging this year. I think paired with, the challenges that everybody on different levels were going through with COVID, and just that lack of socialization, and
Yeah.
that constant undercurrent of, anxious feeling and fear and, God, death everywhere. And I found myself, I got really down in the winter, and I've got like a sad, they call them sad lights or seasonal affective disorder, and I just wake up in the morning and like stick my face in this artificial light thing for 10 minutes.
Yeah. I think it was harder for a lot of us extroverts than for anybody else. It was tough
Yeah.
because you're just used to being able to feed off other people's energy, and yeah, it's great to have the online interactions, but we need the in person as well.
Yeah, the online, and that's where you like quickly realize it's just not the same. It's
Yeah.
like, no, I want to be with people. And so much of how especially whenever we are in Vancouver in the winter, get through it is, going to yoga class with friends, and going skiing, and going to a comedy show, and going to a bar, and like
Mhm.
going and
Mhm.
engaging when it gets dark at 6 o'clock and it's raining nonstop. Um, and not
Yeah.
being able to do that was really, really
Mhm.
depressing, I found.
Yeah, me too. It was definitely harder than I expected because I already worked from home, so I thought, oh, it's not going to be too hard,
Yeah.
but it was hard. It really was.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
mean, extroverts and introverts, like, I think overall, like, we're a pack animal, right? We're
Yeah.
being, it's an abnormality to actually be a hermit, to be somebody who truly does not want to be around any people at all ever, is
Yeah.
not really how we are, as it just biologically. So
Mhm.
psychologically, for
Yeah.
everyone on different levels, it's been such a challenging time. And
Yeah.
also all the things, I would read all this stuff to try and be like, okay, I'm not crazy. No, how we usually get through these difficult times traditionally throughout human history is we find ways to gather. And
Yeah.
that's the one thing we couldn't do.
Yeah. And my like normal coping mechanisms of, well, honestly, going to the movies
Mhm.
was taken from me. And that was just like, what? No, I can't.
Yeah, and talk about getting sick of your house, huh?
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
Not meant
I-
to be the office, the theater, the gym, the school, the the
yeah.
restaurant. The house is sick of me. It's overworked.
Yeah. Last Easter, I was under like strict quarantine because they were worried that I had the COVID, but I didn't end up having it. But anyway, I ended up for my Easter dinner because I couldn't go to my parents. I
Mhm.
ended up making Easter dinner for myself, and all I had was I ended up with spam
Oh
because they
no.
didn't have any ham, and I was like, it's kind of close, sort of. So I made myself spam. I'm like, this is so sad.
Oh my God. That really is like the rock bottom Easter dinner.
Right.
Spam alone, maybe with COVID.
Spam and a microwave potato. It was pretty sad.
Ouch.
Yes. So anyway, yeah. So when did you end up going back to work? When were you? What was the first thing you worked on?
Well, so my husband wrote, and we both produced, and he directed, and we starred in it and everything. The first independent feature film that was greenlit to go to camera in Canada, and that was in June of 2020 that we shot
Wow.
that. Yeah, so that was amazing, and we got all of our supremely talented friends in front of and behind the camera to work with us on that, because of course everyone was at home, and we would call people up and they'd be like, yes, please, I'm dying to do anything. So, and that was also really cool because it was a chance for all of us to get an idea of what it was going to be like to go back to work, you know even in a professional capacity in this new environment, with mask wearing and distancing and
Hmm.
sanitizing and all of that stuff. So that was really, really cool. And then my first job back, that somebody else paid me to do was um, was in, I think it was in September. And it's funny that I say that now. I'm trying to think of what the show was, but yeah, I believe it was
Hmm.
September.
Yeah. They've done an incredible job. I mean,
Oh
just
yeah.
amazing how much they've been able to produce and just how they got it down to this like system. I'm sure you saw it in this new movie
Oh
that
yeah.
they did. Yeah, it's really impressive.
It's fantastic, and I'm so proud of the film and TV industry, how well that everyone pivoted so quickly. As much as I cannot stand that word now after the last year and a half, how quickly everybody adapted and made the like and made it possible for us all to get back to work and to get back to work safely, and to stay back at work, um,
Yeah,
'cause that was pretty scary when everything was shut down for a while. You go, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do now?
yeah, yeah. It was because just nobody knew. No one knew what to do or what was like nobody had ever faced anything quite like this before, so no one knew. So we
No,
are just trying our best to figure it out.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, so your first role for Hallmark was Harvest Love, I think,
Yes, I
according to
believe.
IMDb. So how did you end up getting involved with
Well, you
the
know what?
network?
I think it's Harvest Love on that one, but I think I maybe did years ago, and for some reason it's not on my regular IMDb page. Like a one or two lines in a Christmas movie prior to that.
Oh,
Um, Shoot, but I should know the name of it before I say that. But anyways, but Harvest Love, yes, I remember, and that was with Christy Will directing.
mm-hmm.
And how did that happen? I mean, They cast me.
Yeah. Did you just go on for an open casting call or
Yeah, just
for
going
that
for like
one? Yeah.
regular, through the regular audition stream.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Were
yeah.
you when you first got your first role period,
Yeah.
did you just like what was that like when you were did you just freak out when you got it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So exciting. It's so exciting when you get your first job ever. And it's after a lot of auditions,
Mhm.
and a lot of
Yeah.
classes and a lot of work. And um it takes a long time just to get that going. Uh, and it's so thrilling and also so nerve wracking. I mean, now I
Mhm.
can, joke around with friends and stuff on set about, they'll yell cut and everything stops and they're like, okay, going again. And you think, oh shit, did I screw that up?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm terrible. It was all me. And then you really like now you realize like no, usually it's got nothing to do with performance or you screwing up or any of that. It's the camera was out of focus or this other thing didn't work. There are so many elements that have to come together. Uh, but yeah, the first job is super exhilarating and incredibly nerve wracking. And yeah, for someone like I
Mhm.
remember very sweaty.
And now for the mystery shows, have you ever played the murderer or if you
I have not.
oh yeah,
No,
not.
I was like kind of a MacGuffin
Oh,
or a
okay, red herring.
yeah, which was fun. But I haven't played the murderer. No,
Oh, that would be fun if
it
you get
really
the
was.
chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were in Christmas Town with Candace Cameron Bure.
Yes, I was.
I
She's
loved that movie. That was one of my
so
favorites.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so glad. She's so lovely. And then that one was also directed by David Weaver, who's
Mm.
directed me in Sealed with a Kiss. But yeah, that was a fun one to work on. I loved that part too. Uh,
Mhm. It was such a I just thought it was like a perfect Hallmark movie in the sense of it just had like all the pieces that you
right.
want in a Hallmark Christmas movie when you sit down to watch one.
Yeah. And I mean, I love the Hallmark Christmas
Yeah.
movies. They're so fun.
It was so sweet. It had such a great message. It had I mean, whenever she would read one of those letters from her father, oh my, that would get
Yeah.
me. Yeah. It was so Christmassy and about family, and I
Yeah.
just really enjoyed it.
Oh, yay. I'm
Yeah.
so glad. I love hearing that.
Yeah. It was really good. So let's talk about Wedding March 6th. Now, have you seen the other Wedding March movies? Or
I have
did
not.
you go into a cold? You went into a cold.
I went into it cold. And I kind of, when I realized that there were other ones, I was like, should I watch them? And then I was like, no.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to get myself like with ideas in my
Yeah.
head of how it should be. I'll just go and
Do you think you'll like do a little binge party now the movie's
I
done?
might, I
Yeah,
might do, I might. And I was
I
like,
think you
oh,
need to.
I don't know when they started doing them, but I was like, man, I wish that I had known about these like when I was planning my wedding and getting married, and I think which my anniversary 2013. I don't know if they were making them back then, but I
Mhm.
like to like watch theme things thematically. So like when I was getting married, I
Right.
was being like, I'm gonna watch all these wedding movies, and I didn't even know about these, and that would have been so perfect.
Yeah,
Um,
the when was it? The first one. Uh the was it 2016, I think?
yeah.
Yep, 2016.
Mhm.
So we've had 5 years of Wedding March Wedding March
Yeah.
films. And where are these filmed? Where's this resort that it's at? This
Oh my gosh, so beautiful. So
yeah.
right by Harrison Hot Springs in BC. Um, which is I want to say about 2.5 hours out east of Vancouver, and it's gorgeous out there. Absolutely stunning.
It looks it looks beautiful and it looks like it would these movies would be a ton of fun to make.
So much fun to make. I
Fun
mean,
group.
especially because we got to be on location, like staying at Harrison Hot Springs, which is this beautiful resort, in Harrison, BC, which is, it's literally a lake surrounded by these gorgeous mountains with natural hot springs and gorgeous, gorgeous.
Sounds relaxing.
And yeah, so as a result, just relaxing and really fun. And the cast on this one were a hoot. It was so hard to get through a take without busting a gut laughing. And that was just such a joy to have that experience.
And it must be fun to like see these fake weddings get like put up and everything like mounted. I always feel like they should just have people come in and have their weddings once it's all like give a free wedding to people because it's all done.
I know the set deck is incredible. They do an amazing job, and it's all so beautiful and totally like fantasy wedding style, and which is then also like really fun to shoot, and I'm quite a girly girl, so I was all about it. I was like, I love this. Trying all the wedding dresses on and everything. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in heaven.
Yeah, because you play the bride, correct? The stressed out bride in this one?
Bride, yeah.
Yeah. And so Mick and Olivia are helping you plan your wedding.
Yeah.
And it's getting kind of out of control, wedding, right?
Get my fiance, not on board. I mean, he's on board, but get him on board with how I want it to go.
Yeah. And is Nathan Whitty, is he your fiance?
Yes. He is.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I love him. He's great.
He's so great. He's wonderful. And we actually had worked together before during the pandemic, also in late spring, early summer of 2020. I co-directed with a friend of mine, Nathan, in a play called Cock, the play by Mike Bartlett. And that we live streamed over the internet. Anyway, and so then cut to a year later, or just under a year later, and we were co-starring in this Wedding March movie.
How did you know him to cast him in the play?
I didn't know him. So he was brought on by the producing team onto the play. So we hadn't met before. And then we had that working experience, and then this one. So now we know each other very well, and he's fantastic.
Yeah, I really enjoyed interviewing him. He was a ton of fun. And so, are Jack and Josie? Are they like are they kind of the like they're welcoming everybody into this franchise now at this point? They're the mom and pop of the Wedding March.
Totally, and they were so welcoming and really wonderful to work with, and just like right away kind of made you feel comfortable and at ease, and also we're great at getting everybody engaged and into the tone of these films. So yeah, they created a really great work environment. It wasn't, sometimes when you come onto things, it can be intimidating, especially if it's something that's already going, and they just made it so seamless and easy. And right away, like after one day, it was like, okay, here we go, like we'd been filming forever.
Yeah, that sounds fun. And so basically you're there, your character is there to further her wedding. And at the same time, Olivia, I said, is planning her wedding, right?
Yes, that's right. Finally.
Yeah, they need to get this done. Like, what are they waiting for?
Right.
That sounds fun. These movies are kind of goofy, but we enjoy them here on the podcast. And and I'd say the fifth one was maybe the best. So they're growing in quality.
Good. All right.
So this one needs to be the Wedding March masterpiece.
Yes, I hope that it is.
Yes, I think so.
I'm making it.
Very good. We'd like to take a second from this episode of the podcast to celebrate our sponsor of this episode, and that is the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast?
Do you want an inside scoop into what happens on the podcast?
Do you want early access to episodes and loads of cool perks?
Now is the time to become a patron of Hallmarkies podcast.
By becoming a patron, you get to access our patron Facebook group.
You can request episodes or even be a guest on the podcast.
And most importantly, any patron can join our monthly movie watch-alongs with stars like Paul Campbell, Natalie Hall, and more.
It's as low as $2 a month to join in and become a special part of the Hallmarkies family.
Please consider, and we will love you forever.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
All right. Well, we like to end our interviews with some fun, silly questions. So,
Okay.
not that the previous questions have also not been silly. But first question, what is the best ice cream flavor?
Chocolate.
Yeah, good. All right. What is your favorite color?
Red.
Yep, very on brand. Good. Red and green. Okay. What music are you into?
What music am I into?
Yes.
Oh gosh, a little bit of everything, really. I guess I love my like fallback go-to. I love soul music, like Motown.
Have
And I
you-
love like 90s and early 2000s hip hop and R&B.
have you
And
seen
then-
have you seen the Summer of Soul documentary?
No, but I really want to.
So good. It's on
It is.
Hulu.
Okay.
You
Oh,
gotta see it.
when the
It's
Olympics
great.
are over, because they're currently taking up all of my TV viewing time.
Yeah.
But I will watch Summer of Soul. I'm super looking forward to watching that. Yeah,
It's
and
one
then
of my
sometimes I just like will bust into like, last night I was listening to Bonnie Raitt, like country.
Nice.
I was like, I'm feeling this right now. So I'm all over the
Good. Do you have a Spotify playlist that's your favorite that you put
Ooh.
on?
You know what? The one that I put on I like to put on Mood Booster, just kind of
Mhm.
around the house on Spotify. It's like one of
Yeah.
their general ones, but it's got like Maggie Rogers and some other just fun stuff that I put. It starts playing, and I'm like, ooh,
Mhm.
yes, I do feel better and kind of cool.
Good, good. So we used to say, what is your go-to date night food? But since nobody's going on dates these days, what is your DoorDash order? What would you order in?
What would I order in?
Yeah, whatever the Canadian equivalent to DoorDash is.
Well, I don't order in a ton. I do prefer to like just cook from home, but date night order in, I guess pizza is what we'd
Pizza.
order in,
Mhm.
And then again, date night too. I just like to go out for Italian food. So
Ah, very good. So once things are open up again, what is your favorite activity to do out on a date?
out on a date.
Yeah.
It's not in the past, it wasn't a favorite, but what I really want to do a lot more of, and I was telling my husband, I want to go to concerts, but like at intimate concert venues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love concerts.
Yeah.
Going to live music. It's just there's just something about it that's just so good. I mean, you can have a bad concert, but it's pretty rare.
Pretty rare. And
Pretty
it,
rare.
just
Yeah.
like have a beer and listen to live music.
Mhm.
Be in a cool event. And I prefer when it's kind of a more like not like super small, but like a cool, like small intimate venue versus like a big stadium.
Yeah. The only thing is I'm too old for this like standing all the time venues.
Yeah.
I need to be able to sit down.
No, I like the stand ones. I like the standing.
I can't. Because I took my sister, this was a couple of years ago, I took my sister to see Regina Spektor, who was amazing, of course. But like you couldn't see her unless you were standing because of the way the piano was set up and everybody was standing the whole time. And I'm just like, I'm too old for this stuff. I can't do this anymore. But anyway, okay. Which do you prefer, dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Okay. Beaches or mountains?
Beaches.
Yes, me too. Would you rather be in a fancy dress or sweats?
Fancy dress.
Yes, good answer. I think we're all tired of sweats these
We're
days.
done with our sweats.
Right.
They've had their moment. I hope they enjoyed it.
Yeah. All right. What is your favorite holiday to celebrate?
Christmas.
Very good. You can't beat Christmas. It's tough because every other holiday is just one day, but
Yeah.
Christmas is a whole season.
The whole season. And second to Christmas for me is Halloween.
Yeah.
A very close second. I love Halloween as well.
Yeah. I actually already ordered my Halloween costume for this year. Yes.
Whoa. What are you going?
I'm going as Wanda from WandaVision.
Oh, cool.
I'm so
Very
excited.
cool.
I saw they had the plus size WandaVision costume, and I'm like, perfect. Got to get it with a cape and everything. I'm pretty
yes.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh, life is better with a cape.
Yes. So, all right. Last question. What is your favorite Hallmark or romantic movie?
Oh, my favorite
Pick one of your own if you want.
No, it's Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
I love that movie. I was talking with my neighbor about it the other day, and I was like, "Ooh, I need to give that a rewatch." Pretty Women and Dirty Dancing. Those are my top two. Yeah,
I love Dirty Dancing. It's way more. It has way more depth to it than it's given credit. I think Dirty Dancing.
Oh yeah.
Like it really tackles some big things.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Great. It's a must. I must watch it every summer.
Yeah. It's coming of age movie.
Yeah.
It's so well done. I love it. Yes. And Pretty Woman's basically Cinderella.
Basically. Yeah. I mean, listen, there's a lot of problems with it, but I love it.
Yeah. Very good. All right. You did it. You answered all the questions. You passed the test. Very good. Well, great. Thank you so much. This was so much fun talking with you. I really had a blast. And so hopefully we get to have you back on again. And do you have social media or anything like that you'd like to share?
I on Instagram, it's just Kate Stryker. Yeah, I'm not on it that often, but that's the only place I am.
Great. I will put all that in the description so people can follow you. And thank you so much again for talking with us. And we look forward to the new movie and many more to come. Do you have any anything you can tell us in the works?
No, nothing in the works right now. So,
All right. Well, we'll look forward to it.
Yeah.
And
thanks, Rachel.
Thanks really so much. And let us know if you're listening, what you think about all the things we talked about. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. And make sure you're following the podcast, the Hallmarkies Podcast, all of our social media. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. And if you are listening on YouTube, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. We also have our Patreon group and merch store. Check all of that out. All the information in the description. And thanks again, Caitlin. This was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And we'll talk to you all later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.